This chapter follows the different groups and kind of where they're going, checks in with all of them, but really ultimately we just kind of see at the end just some of Tommyrod's powers. Toriko, Gourmet number 72, to each their own. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters and gourmet hunters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome and chilling tale of Toriko. Our last chapter, of course, saw us with really the parties kind of splitting up as they got up onto at the top at the plateau and started to kind of embark on their journey into Ice Hell. But really, for me, the big thing is towards the end of the chapter, actually at the end of the chapter, the vice chef of Gourmet Corp, Tommyrod, being introduced. We also saw obviously that he's with Bogie Woods as well as Barry Gammon. So those three, that trio is there. That's how things kind of left off over here, and actually Tommy wound up kind of exploding and coming out of the Tundra Dragon. So I'm presuming that maybe he killed that dragon, and that's how the dragon actually froze and then died. I'm not really sure. Nonetheless, though, that's how things left off. Things pick up with a nice little map, actually, kind of showing us where the different parties went and whatnot. You know, the first party direct route, the first party the easy route, the first party the alternate route. So we see that first party alternate route or what have you, kind of with a bunch of nobodies, sort of a bunch of throwaway characters. At least that's what it looks like. And they encounter some ice jaguars, right? And these ice jaguars just look badass and just tear them apart, or at least that's what it looks like. Then we go to the next party, which is Zongeh's party, right? If you remember Zongeh, because he's got so much, because he's played so many RPGs, he knows that we're supposed to take the easy route that actually looks like the hard route, and that'll be the easy route, right? So they're on this route, and they're going, he's like, see, I told you it'll be easy. And then all of a sudden they come upon just like a sea of Growlruses, right? And we've seen the Growlrus before, but this was just very cool to see, like, hundreds of them and what have you, and they're sleeping, and he's just like, oh, these are the most terrifying beasts in the world, and definitely the worst thing that Ice Hell's gonna have to throw at us. And it's just like, it's so funny seeing this fool, because that's what he is. He's a fool. He's there as the court jester, he's there for comic relief for the most part, and I just kind of like his Scottish accent that I sort of put in there anyway, so so it is what it is. That's how it works. But and then they wind up, as they're walking by, of course, if one of them gets up and sees them, even though they're trying to be quiet, and then he's like, run, and they all go and take off. So then we go and we wind up actually seeing our first party, our main group, which has the only ones that look like they're left are Toriko, Komatsu, Takimaru, and Match. And these are some cool guys. I like Takimaru, I like his design. I like Match, and I like his design. He's kind of like this mafia type guy or whatever, but he's really slick with a sword. And really, really cool to see this stuff. So they wind up encountering these bison, these Freezer Bison they call them, right? And they're not these big imposing animals. They're big, but they're not like these big dangerous animals. But Toriko's like, I'm gonna take a couple of these things out, and they're gonna use their furs to keep them warm, because everybody they got like ice forming on their face and body and everything like that. Like, this is Ice Hell, okay? If there's like a character design for this, that is what this is. I mean, it just, if you think about it, every step going through something like this is just got to be horrendous as your body numbs and freezes, and just, I can just feel the cold wind, especially coming out of like this is the coldest 4-month winter period of winter in Chicago history, as it was December, January, February, March. And we had a couple of days, 50 below, 55 below with wind chill. This is like 80 below on the regular, okay? So something I've never even experienced before, and I gotta be crazy. But they're talking about how even their thermal suits are eventually just going to kind of get ripped apart by the howling winds and everything else. So nonetheless, though, Takimaru and Match say, no, Toriko, just chill, just sit back, man. We'll take care of these guys, right? So we wind up seeing what's his name, Takimaru. Excuse my forgetting his name over there. I was going to actually show something here from Takimaru, and then I completely lost the page, because I do a little bit of that every now and again. So he goes and gets ready for his, I don't know, I guess what you want to call it, his little workout or whatever you call it. And he winds up doing something that they describe as a pre-shot routine. And that was actually the word that I was searching for. He starts doing like these different motions, right? And Komatsu's like, Toriko, what the hell is he doing, you know? And, you know, Toriko goes and says it's this pre-shot routine. And to tell you the truth, it'd be better if I had my friend explain it to you, so we'll just let him take over. And if you're ready.
Do you even need to ask?
Yeah. Okay, good. Go ahead and do it. Take it away, my man.
Pre-shot routine, a preparatory series of movements often used in sports such as golf or baseball where the player needs to gather concentration needed to execute a shot.
Oh, okay, you need me back? All right, good. So anyways, that gives you a breakdown of it, and it's actually pretty cool because this is something that you really do see in real life, and this is one of those great comparisons that's made, you know, to just kind of things that happen in real life over here. Because again, you know, it's something that, you know, baseball, football, everything you see that sort of thing, a lot of the major sports. So very cool stuff though. So then he goes and he does, man, that awesome move that he's got where he's something bottle opener, you know, and he just dislocates the spine from itself, you know, of one of these things. And I was like, oh God, it's cool, but it makes you cringe, you know. It's like, I don't want to fight against that dude, man. I want that guy to be my friend forever, you know. So I don't even care if he pisses me off. I'm still going to be his friend because I don't want that shit happening to me. So he winds up taking out one of these Bison, which just barely was able to and what have you. So then Match goes and comes out, and he's got to release his energy so he can get more power on his slicing attack from his sword. And it's actually pretty cool. It's nice to see these guys in action and to see what they're actually capable of, you know. So he winds up going and, you know, takes out one of these Bison. As he's going to go in to get more of them, Toriko goes and tells him to hold on a second, and then it looks like it's like his menacing sort of feral side, his inner demon, that's talking about. Toriko says, you know, listen, we don't need to kill any more than we need, all right? So, but his feral side is like, I want to kill them all. At least that's what I get from it anyway, you know, is it's kind of like his demon on his shoulder, like, kill them all, like the bloodlust, you know? But, you know, but him, he only kills what he needs to eat or what he needs for shelter, what he needs for warmth, whatever the case may be. And it's actually kind of cool to impress his Match, because Match is like, you're not like the, you know, the stories of the Four Kings or the other ones of the Four Kings, you know? And he's just like, I don't know who you're talking about, but whatever, it is what it is, right? So they wind up going, and Match comes out and has this little exchange between him and Toriko where he says, listen, I'll take over watch for you. Toriko's like, why, you know? And he says to him, he says, well, you know, you saved my men back there and this and that, and, you know, and Toriko's like, really? Is that the only reason now all of a sudden we got, you know, you're like indebted to me, like a mafia hitman, big tough guy gangster? And he's just like, listen, man, you know, to survive out here, we really have to work together. We got to be friends. And Toriko's like, absolutely. And that's what I like about the guy. He's not, you know, just like, okay, well, you know, we got to, you know, it's every man for himself, that sort of thing. He's willing to go and to work with others because it's the same, it's a common goal, you know. So I thought that was cool. I thought the exchange between them was real nice. And I really like this Match character as well as Takimaru. Definitely like those guys. Very, very cool stuff. So, and then Toriko goes and even says after Takimaru winds up doing that and he does his pre-workout routine and everything, then he explains it to Komatsu and he says that's why he rubs his hands together before he does the fork and knife. He even says afterwards, he says, yeah, if he had a better pre-workout, if he did his pre-workout routine, because you envision yourself winning, doing what it is that you're doing, right? And that helps you to actually complete it. And I liked it because he was just like, yeah, if he was better at that pre-workout routine, he would have been he'd be even more powerful, you know? So then the last part of the chapter I thought was pretty cool. We wind up getting to see we wind up seeing, of course, what's left of this, well, not the second party, but the Gourmet Corp, and they're kind of following behind where the second party is. They see a bunch of them, they've frozen in their tracks, right? And there's one that's still actually partially kind of alive, and he's like, I'm not gonna, he's like frozen, but he's trying to get unfrozen. And Tommyrod just goes and just runs his ass through him. It's like, you didn't think you were gonna make it, did you? And this Tommyrod is really kind of a weird-looking character because, again, it looks very feminine, looks like a bug in general, and just, oh man, just makes my skin crawl, you know. So you see that, and Bogie as well as Barry Gammon, and you know, and they know where the Century Soup is located, but obviously there's going to be other Gourmet Hunters that are on their way there, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, what are we going to do about them? And then Tommyrod's like, yeah, we're just going to kill them, you know? So that's, what else would we do, right? They wind up seeing, though, tracks, you know, prints or whatever, and they're like, well, maybe it was Toriko, you know? He's like, no, his prints were washed away a while ago, and all the winds and everything like that, they're gone. This has got to be somebody that actually survived that was strong from that second party, right? And then I'm thinking that it's that ninja dude, right? That ninja dude that's got the hair coming out the back of his little ninja. It looks kind of like Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe or something like that. And the ninja dude, I actually had made a mistake a few chapters back thinking that he was the one that had slaughtered everybody inside, inside the actual ship and what have you, all those guards and whatnot. But obviously now we know that that was Bogie Woods. I just mistook it for the way it was all set up. So I'm thinking that's the dude that's actually alive. Really, though, the thing that was for me, and this is that page that I actually wound up having it on here, was the end of the chapter. We get, he's like, oh, well, I'm going to launch it, and Tommyrod says, I'm going to launch a, oh, well, who cares? I'll launch a preemptive attack. And then you've got Barry, Vice Chef, no, not now. And this dude's like this big rock-looking thing, looks like the Thing, And then you've even got, oh, no, run, from Bogie over here. And it's just like this bug that's coming out of Tommy's mouth, it looks like some sort of crazy insectoid thing. So I don't know if it's like a part of his tongue or if it's like he's got like these seeker bugs that can go out and he can control. I don't know, man. Pretty cool looking though, pretty disgusting too. But ultimately, pretty cool at the end of the day. So that's how the chapter ends. And man, what a fun one over here. We get to just kind of see a little bit more of everybody and what have you. We know Toriko and company, they think that they're getting close to the actual mountain, and they're going to have some cover from that wind, while inside the mountain it'll be slightly less cold, and really just a bunch of good things going on right now. So I'm certainly stoked. My chapter question for you, though, brothers and sisters, is really ultimately, I guess, what are your thoughts on Match and Takimaru? I know that several chapters back I asked questions initially when we met them on some of these characters, what you thought about them, but now that they've kind of broken off from the pack, and we've seen that they've sort of risen to the top as far as characters that we think are going to, at least I think, will be mainstays for at least probably this arc, it's the next several chapters. What are your thoughts on those two in particular? Takimaru and then of course Match. So leave your answer to that question in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching all of you in the next one, Nation.
Remember to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and even my other channel.